It all started with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Had it not been for Dr. Frankenfurter, Magenta, and Riff Raff, Jim Saah may never have discovered punk rock and his many indelible images, including the cover photo of the 1990 Fugazi album, Repeater, would never have existed. I ended up going to the midnight show of the Rocky Horror Picture Show down in Georgetown in 1982, and before the movie played they had a DJ, and there were a bunch of weirdos dancing to punk rock music, the Washington, D.C. based photographer recalls. He would play the Buzzcocks and the Stranglers and probably some New York stuff like the Ramones, and I was blown away almost immediately upon hearing this music. Saah needed to know more. I was like, what is this music? I have to check it out. So I go to my local record store and ask them about it, and they're like, yeah, those bands are good, but there are local punk rock bands too. And I was like, oh, people make this music locally? So I went to my first show, which was Minor Threat and Government Issue at Maryland University, and I was hooked. He did not take any pictures at that concert featuring the two legendary hardcore bands. It was my first show, and I didn't really know if photographs were allowed, but in the 40 years since he has rarely been without his trusty camera. Now, Saah's releasing a second edition of In My Eyes, Photographs 1982 to 1997, his celebrated book capturing moments from punk's heyday. The 332-page tome, available from Cabin One, contains images of everyone from the obscure DC outfits 00 and Madhouse to legendary punk and rock acts like The Damned, The Ramones, Foo Fighters, Pavement, Pixies, Sonic Youth, Lou Reed, and Iggy Pop. EW sat down with Saah to get the stories behind his favorite shots of Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, Talking Heads, The Replacements, and Fugazi. Black Flag, 930 Club, February 3, 1983, Henry Rollins, a.k.a. Henry Garfield, was singing for DC hardcore outfit SOA when he joined the well-established punk outfit from Hermosa Beach, California, as their vocalist, taking over for Des Cadena, who wanted to move over to second guitar. Because DC shows represented a homecoming for Rollins, Black Flag concerts in the nation's capital were always raucous affairs, like this 1983 show Saah captured. I was 17 years old and had been shooting shows for almost a year at this point, so I kind of got used to the activity. I would pick my spot, and I could anticipate things and protect my gear, but people went crazy, and it was nonstop action. People would jump over my head, and I'd pop up and take pictures. This one of Rollins is probably one of my most recognizable photos. I meet people and they don't know me or my name, but they'll see it and be like, oh, you took that photo. Dead Kennedys, Landsbergs, June 5, 1983. Known for shocking song titles like Holiday in Cambodia, Kill the Poor, Too Drunk to F, and Nazi Punk's F, Off. San Francisco's Dead Kennedys mixed politics and satire with lightning-fast guitar licks and the charismatic presence of singer Jello Biafra, who would later go toe-to-toe with Tipper Gore of the Parents Music Resource Center on The Oprah Winfrey Show. This show was at an old department store from the 50s and 60s called Landsbergs. My mother shopped there. It's kind of like what a Target would be now, and it closed. So it was just this huge space that they rented out. Minor Threat's last show was there, and this Dead Kennedys show was noteworthy because it almost got shut down by the fire marshal, who showed up and got on stage. Talking Heads, Merriweather Post Pavilion, August 24, 1983. Jonathan Demm's landmark concert film Stop Making Sense showed Talking Heads at the top of their game, and Saah had a front row seat. Well, standing general admission, actually, to that creative genius when he caught the tour during which that movie was made. But because the concert he attended was at a much bigger venue than Saah was used to, he had to use some stealth tactics to get this shot of David Byrne and company. What's funny about this picture is that when you used to shoot film, you'd make a contact sheet, and you'd look at it with a magnifying glass, and you'd circle 2 or 3 or 4 photos you like, and you print those ones bigger, and then you put it all away. But fast forward 30 years, and I'm scanning all these images, and when you see things bigger on a computer, it really changes it. I never gave that picture another thought until I saw it bigger, because I tend to go for the bolder images up close, like the Henry Rollins Black Flag one where it's in your face. But in this Fugazi shot, everyone is fairly small, and it's very wide. I did shoot from the back of the stage a lot, and I like to do that because punk rock was a communal experience. What really was attractive to me about punk rock is that you could be involved, you could sing along, you could get on stage, you could be a participant. So the audience is a big part of my photographs.